This is an instructional video on using the Retevis RT49P FRS radio. First thing you'd want to know is my radio on or not? There's no indication, there's no lights to tell you if it's on. So what I would do, push the up arrow. If nothing happens, either your batteries are dead or the radio is off. To turn it on, you push the power button and hold it for about 4 seconds. It'll come on, beep, and it'll show you the channel and the tone that you're on. One thing about the Retevis is that the display does not stay on long at all, and I guess this is to save battery. I've gotten into the habit, if you want to bring up the display, I push the up arrow button and the display will come on for a short period of time. And one quirk on the radio is that in order to use the functions of any of the other keys, the screen has to be on. So if you push the menu button, first thing that happens when you touch any key is the screen comes on. So if you want to use the menu, you have to turn the screen on and then you can press the menu button. Okay, so let's go through the functions of the radio. It times out pretty quickly. Okay, so the first thing is to do anything, and I'll say this again and again, you have to have the screen on. Once the screen is on, the up and down arrows will give you the loudness or volume. That's pretty straightforward. Once you've set the volume that you want, you can either touch the push to talk key or you can let it time out. Okay, the second thing then will be the menu functions. So I push the up arrow to turn the screen on, press the menu button, and the large digits display the channel. The up and down arrows will allow you to select the channel. If you press the menu a second time, the small digit will blink, and this is the tone. Now this can be confusing because there's the standard 22 CTCSS or tones that we would be using. However, there's another set of tones that are digital tones, and you can see now I've got 60, 70, 80. There's actually 122 possible tones on this radio. So if you see a very strange number there, you've somehow gotten up to one of the digital tones that we don't use. The third time you press the menu button, you get this CA, which is the call tone. You can go through at your leisure and select those. The next one is Vox, voice operated transmission. I strongly urge you to leave it as a 0, which means it's non-functional. If you put any other number in there, the radio can be actuated to transmit by your voice. That's all I'm going to get into. The second thing here, the 2CH, is dual channel. Probably I suggest you leave that off. If it's off, you'll only be monitoring one channel. In this menu item, though, you can select the channel that you want to be the second channel that the radio monitors. It's probably less confusing just to leave it off. The final one is high power or low power. I suggest you leave it on high. The only reason you would use low is if you were very close and you wanted to conserve radio power, and the radio will last longer. Okay, that's it for the menu. Anytime you've set something in the menu, you can use push to talk or let it time out. Okay, bring the display up. There's a lock function here. All the keys have two functions, a slow push and a long push. So I did a long push on the little lock icon. And as you can see, there's a little key down at the bottom. I think this is a worthless function. I only think it locks out the volume keys. So I suggest you leave it off. To take it off, push and hold. It's the long press. Down here is the scan key. And again, if I press the key, nothing happens until the display is lit. Then when I press it, it'll scan through the channels. And one thing you'll notice, it's still scanning even though display is off. And press the button and bring the display back up. And it only scans the channel. It doesn't scan the tones. But if you have a channel that has a tone set, you'll notice this button changes. So let's do that. Bring up the screen, stop the scan, go into the menu. Second, now I'm changing the tone on channel 3. I can hit the push to talk. That brings it back. And now if I hit scan, you'll notice when it comes to channel 3 that the tone blinks. There it does it. So that's what's going on that one. Turn the scan off. The long press on this button down here is the monitor function. And it's a little strange. Most radios, when you press that button or actuate that function, it will monitor the audio and play the audio all the time. On this radio, press it once, nothing happens except the screen lights up. If you hold it, you'll hear the channel. As soon as you let go, it'll stop. But if you have a channel and you don't hear it, but you think there's something there, you can use the monitor. Okay, lamp is pretty self-evident. There's a little LED that comes on down below. Above the lamp, the second function on the long press, there's a little cloud. And so this radio can receive National Weather Service channels. There's 10 or 11. So a long press after the screen is on will bring up the National Weather Service. Now I'm going to move it here.
13 a.m. Monday and 1.0 knots at 10:49 p.m. Monday. These
So
are the 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time observations for the San Francisco and Monterey Bay areas on Monday, February 13th. At San Francisco Airport, fog was
One thing, if you want, there's 10
49,
channels, but to change the channels, you have to go to the menu and walk through the 10, 11 possible channels.
Fog was reported, reducing the visibility to 1/2 of a mile. Temperature 48, dew point 48, relative humidity 100%. Calm, pressure 29.92.
Okay, a long press on that button will get you back into normal radio mode. Okay, just about done. Got to bring up the screen. The call button, if it's a quick press, will send out a call either locally, as it did, or it'll send it out on the channel and the tone that you're on. And that's how we get attention of people. That's about it for the keys. The final thing, to turn it off, you actually have to have the screen on. Then a long press on the power button will turn the radio off. Did I get it turned off? Yes, nothing's happening. All right, that's the basics. The orange button on the side is an emergency call. I don't think we'll be using that. And if you drop this radio in the water, one of these two LEDs on the bottom will come on and start flashing. And the radio is indeed waterproof. I've dropped it in, pick it up, shake it off, and it'll run. Not a bad little radio, fairly ruggedly built, a couple of quirks, but once you've used it, and it's all about practice, it should be a fine radio for you to use. Thanks for watching.